Hello and welcome to my twin flame journey. I am SHIJÉ, and this is going to be the weekly reading for October 8th through the 15th for the Divine Masculine, those that are currently single, dating, or in karmic relationships and separated from the Divine Feminine. This top bit here is any stinking thinking you might be having and how to turn that around. Here we have what things might be blocking you and what chakras are associated with those that need to be clearing work done. It's late, I'm sorry, it's like almost 11 o'clock. And here is some positive affirmations for you, positive words, as well as advice, which is also more positive words or ways you can proceed forward. Here is what might be coming in for you in regards to love for this week. And then at the end, we'll do a possible career path for you. You can concentrate on a card, and I'll read from the book which each one is, and that might be something to look into. And of course, I'll clarify anything probably in this section. So let us see what some of you might be thinking and feeling. First, we start with healthy love. You got 2 from there. If I'm not right, I lose control. And this could be stemming from some kind of defense mechanism, trying to be in control of things. I know a lot of masculines have been dealing with wearing masks, lies and deception, trying to control how they are in relationships, even if that means putting on a false mask to protect oneself, coming from fear or not feeling good enough, so having to pretend that we're something that we're not. Those are all forms of trying to control how you appear to others or how you are in relationships. And sometimes, when we always insist on being right or always insist on doing it our way or having to admit that we were wrong or take off masks, you feel like you lose control and you become vulnerable. And so that's like a fear for a lot of masculines. And the way to turn that around is inspired. I go after my bliss, but I am also open to the emotional reactions of others. Seeing things from both angles, taking other people's feelings into consideration. That includes wearing false masks in relationships, not being authentic, or using lies and deception. It's to avoid accountability in certain things, or again, a defense mechanism to protect oneself from being hurt even. It's realizing that you kind of have to be more empathetic to how your actions not only affect you, they affect someone else. And this has become a big issue with the masculine. As of late, it's having to reveal some truths, take off some masks. So this is, again, not being in fear of doing that, being receptive to how other people might feel in regards to, again, things we say and do. even if we're doing it as a way to try to control things, as a defense mechanism, a learned behavior, something that's needing to be transcended, so that you can have healthier relationships. And understand that, no, we're not always right, unfortunately. Another one you have here is, if I love someone, it means that it becomes harder for me to speak my mind, especially if I'm angry. You know, some of you might, again, this stems from fear, not wanting to upset people. So we pretend in order to spare ourselves their reactions, holding things in. Because it comes from fear of losing if you speak up or say what you really want to say. And how to turn it around is, in a loving relationship, by taking appropriate action and communicating directly, I can transform any troubling situation, problem, or obstacle. Again, it's being not fearful, not always trying to be in control, understanding that our actions affect other people, being open to and receptive to how that might be, especially with the whole forgiving and learning thing, seeing things from both sides of the coin, you know, openly communicating, not hiding things, not hiding behind masks, not being deceptive, not trying to control things through deception, emotional manipulation, whatever it is. It's about standing in our truth and being honest with ourselves and with other people, being open and receptive again to what other people may feel in regards to us. You know, especially if the relationships are difficult or there's no communication going on. And then, this is living in society. Now that my children are grown, I don't know what to do with my life. And then the flip side of that is, every phase in life brings its own unique joy and sense of purpose. Now, some of you may have kids, and they're all grown, or they're close to it. And a lot of times, you know, you can get lost in playing the role of, you know, mom or dad. And once they leave the nest, you kind of don't know what to do with yourself, because you haven't been alone, or it hasn't been just you to deal with in a long time. So know that even within that, there's some bliss to be had, and knowing that you did your job, knowing that you raised some wonderful children, and embracing your newfound freedom, and not feeling lost, but feeling optimistic. Now you got more time for you. Oh, the joy. And this one is, I don't know what my personal dreams and life purpose are. I tend to get my joy through my family and friends. As I pursue happiness through my dreams and life purpose, I give birth to the unrealized potential within me, the unlimited splendor of my soul. This is about, too, independence, newfound independence. You know, again, if your kids have moved out and now you're trying to figure out what to do with yourself, or you forget dreams you might have had because they've all had to fall by the wayside because you've kind of had to be mom or dad. You know, it's about reconnecting with the self, being okay on your own once the nest is cleared out. Try to reconnect with, you know, things that you used to do, that you used to enjoy, hobbies or whatever it is. And know that you don't always have to be catering to or giving to other people. You can give to yourself and be okay by yourself. Enjoy that time. Again, find things that you like to do. Dancing, fencing, boxing, yoga. Be happy with thyself, I guess is the message there. And here we have healing sadness. I easily get scapegoated in my family and other relationships. And how to turn that around is I can still feel good about myself even if someone is angry with me. Now, I'm noticing a theme of anger and victim mentalities or wearing masks, you know, not really communicating truth. So there's something going on there. I'm feeling like you get blamed for stuff, scapegoated. Or blaming oneself even, you know, beating oneself up. You have here, I feel rejected by my family and friends. How to turn that around is I now have a wealth of family and friends who make me feel like I belong. So, some of you, I mean, definitely the masculine is going through some stuff. And this, you know, healthy love, you know, there's definitely some issues with maybe wearing masks or needing to communicate truths, you know, and not being fearful of what those truths are going to, you know, entail in the aftermath, like that person's reaction. You know, because there's been, like I said, in the weeklies and stuff, there's been a lot of, in the dailies even, there's been a lot of the masculine needing to take off a mask, but he's afraid to. You know, the emotional reactions of others, being open to that. Like if you got to take some heat, take some heat. You know, and not, again, try to control things out of fear. And like always having to be right. That's kind of like to be stubborn in something. But there's also a thing here about being afraid to, you know, again, reveal something because it might impact you in a negative way. Like if you love someone, again, this is like fear and love. There's feelings of being rejected and blamed. This is almost like a guilt or which again comes from this fear of feeling like outcasted, like you don't have anyone that you can turn to. Like I know the masculine, and again in the weeklies and the dailies, has been possibly needing to reach out to family or friends for some assistance, maybe in moving, maybe in whatever, and maybe he's hitting some roadblocks there. And maybe people are saying, oh, well, you should have thought about that before you did it, or, you know, they said that feeling of being scapegoat, like maybe being blamed for, which, you know, again, we make choices and we got to live with our choices. So really we have no one to blame but ourselves. But, you know, the masculine might be feeling a little bit rejected by family and friends, like can't find people to help him out. And they're blaming him for his own situation. And then again, there's some communication here. And then for some of you, there's again like fears of being alone or always needing to be. This is kind of like a codependent issue going on here. Looking for happiness outside of oneself. You know, fears of being alone. I mean, if I tie all this in, this is kind of like, you know, with the masculine needing to speak a truth and end his one karmic situation. If we're going to go tie this into the dailies and the monthlies, I mean, the weeklies, all of them, it's kind of plays on all of that. There's a little bit of codependency thing here. There's a little bit of self-blame or victim mentality. There's issues with opening up and speaking truths or taking off masks because they're fear of, you know, facing the wrath of one and trying to find, you know, forgiveness from the other. So he's like all in his stuff. Maybe he's having, again, trouble with friends looking for people to help him. And now nobody's like he's feeling a little outcasted or like doesn't know how he's going to manifest what he's seeking to manifest. And then you have here, healthy goals. Things should be different. Life is unfair. Yeah, he's kind of like feeling his stuff, which is what the masculine has been doing. I now observe my life from a broad objective perspective so I can give birth to healthier relationship and career situations. This is trying to look at it all as, you know, shedding karma, learning experiences, learning and growing, forgiving and learning, even with ourselves, you know, going through our transformation, not taking on that victim mentality. Like nothing ever works out or whatever. It's like, yeah, sometimes we make bad choices. We got to hold ourselves accountable for them. We have to get egg on our face. We have to make apologies. We have to take off masks. We have to do whatever we got to do. But you know what? When it's done, it's done. And you move past it. And you feel freer for it. You know, all is a lesson. And we can't beat ourselves up. We can't fear being alone. We can't fear speaking our truths. We can't blame the world and blame everybody else for our choices or situations we find ourselves in. It's about kind of like owning your stuff. Owning your stuff, dusting yourself off, and moving on to the next. And changing all of this negative, woeless, fear, feelings, because they're keeping you stuck. You know what you want and go for it. Stand in your integrity, speak your truth. You know, you got to end one karmic situation because it's what you need to do. If this is tying into the rest of the readings that I've been doing, you know, you say it's, you know, don't feel rejected by family and friends. I mean, but don't give up hope. You know, where there's a will, there's a way. You'll get help somehow. You know, and don't beat yourself up and don't have negative stinking thinking going on here. Try to be positive and whatever it is that you're going through, because you're going to come out a better person in the end. This is your challenge, dear. And you're feeling some confusion here. Sorry. And this is crown chakra. And you're also feeling guilt. See, this is what I'm picking up on, this. Beating myself up. This is kind of like what you had last time, too. Fear, beating ourselves up. Confusion, guilt. This is sacral chakra. And then you had 2 in the heart chakra, which is wisdom and trickery. This has to do with, again, lies and deceptions, wearing masks. And the wisdom we've gained. And then you have solar plexus chakra, abundance. And then we have throat chakra, again, like he has needing to speak a truth. Vanity, this is about ego. Letting the ego go. The ego holds us back. Now let's see. We have, first one I have in the book here is guilt. I'm sorry, but I have to take care of myself. This is, again, if you're, staying in situations out of feeling bad, like letting that hold you in stuff that you need to get out of, don't do that. Do what you know is right for you. You kept getting that integrity card down here before during the weeklies. Inspirational message. Do not do for others what they need to do for themselves. Speak truth from your heart. Honesty is freedom. Any guilt is a fear of being disliked. You had this up there before. If I say how I really feel, I will lose people's love and respect. Like, this is kind of like the ongoing theme here of a fear of taking off the mask and revealing something and not wanting to deal with the repercussions of that. And that's what's keeping you stuck. But honesty is freedom. Speak truth from your heart. See? Personal inquiry. Am I giving away too much time and energy and resenting it? Is my anger really guilt? The feeling things should be different. Life is unfair. That anger, that wanting to play the victim, point the finger everywhere else. Because it's really stemming from guilt, because it's our own choices that got us in our situations. Can't blame anybody else as much as we'd like to. So that's like you needing to go within and figuring out, like, where do I really need to place the blame? And when you hold yourself accountable, you grow through that process. And you stand in your truth and your integrity, as I mentioned before. Key ideas: self-care, burdened by obligations, enabling others, finding personal power. And it's like what I said, standing in your truth, finding your integrity, letting go of fear and guilt and stress and masks and all of that stuff. And you have abundance. That's the next one here. I only seek to give you what you ask for. Inspirational message. Think about your relationship with money. Are you the wise girl or the foolhardy man? Money is naturally attracted towards appreciation and gratitude. Personal inquiry. Be wary of using your financial situation as an excuse to avoid doing something. Are your thoughts and actions around money empowering or disempowering you? Key ideas: abundance through gratitude, releasing regret, being good with money. Keywords: friendship, wisdom, windfall. So again, this could be a form of codependency. Staying in something that we shouldn't be in, or out of obligation, feeling guilty. You know, a lot of the masculines are learning, just like the feminine, are having to learn how to be not codependent, to be financially independent, to empower oneself, not have a negative view of money because we're always feeling in lack of, and putting that energy out there and just getting more lack of. Like, there's a something with the karma there that needs to be shifted. You know, you might have a past life thing having to do with vows of poverty. That could be a possibility. So you carry that over in this life, and you seem to have an issue all the time with money. So it's overcoming that. Or this says avoid using your financial hold on. Be wary of using your financial situation as an excuse to avoid doing something. By saying, oh, I don't have the money, or I don't whatever. So again, we don't make moves because we sit all in the thoughts. This is having to do with thoughts. This chakra here, you know, making plans, strategizing. Instead of sitting there, it needs to be implemented into an action. You know, not avoiding doing something, like here, feeling rejected by family and friends. Like, still keep that hope, still keep that drive. And I know that finances are probably an issue with the masculine. He's been getting codependency, finances and career. Ask your friends for help. You know, so this is, again, an ongoing theme here. Or don't be deterred by possible financial issues and making you then want to give up and stay in your karmic situation. You know, don't give up that hope. Keep working on that. And then you had wisdom and trickery. Trickery, the tempter is as guilty as the thief. Inspirational message: during trying times, things may be easier if you ask for help. Don't be disappointed if assistance does not come from the place you expect. Personal inquiry: am I afraid to tell the truth? How does that fear make me manipulate others? What do I really need to say? Key ideas: dance of scarcity, coveting possessions, vulnerable heart, self-honesty, accusing others, hidden motives. Keywords: vision, honesty, and greed. Again, lies and deception, needing to be truthful, you know, not playing the victim. Life's unfair. Other people get whatever. Like, no more doing that. No more using manipulation, emotional manipulation, mental manipulation, whatever it is. You know, by wearing masks. You know, what do you really need to say? It mentions here too about asking for help and to have vision. You know, don't give up hope. Keep working towards what you're working towards. And be vulnerable. You know, open up. Speak a truth. No more trickery. And wisdom is knowing the difference between a calculated risk and stupidity. Inspirational message: is there some wise counsel that you have sought only to ignore it? Are you trying to do things alone? A solution may come from those more experienced than yourself. Stay in the present moment and do not let your thoughts jump ahead. Personal inquiry: do I go with my heart or against it? Am I ready to live in leadership? Key ideas: wise counsel, focused energy, honoring yourself, contribution, being chosen, contentment, transformation. Keywords: maturity, tranquility, and support. This is about you coming into your own and what the wisdom that you've gained through your experience, through your experiences says. Through your experience says. I'm sorry I said it's late. You know, going with your heart, using your intuition. We'll get to this confusion one here. Following the wisdom or the guidance that you possibly have been getting through your spirit guides, the signs that you've been getting as far as what direction you need to be going next in your life. This is, am I ready to live in leadership? Because that's what this is transformation. It's propelling you to your destiny. It's propelling you to your divine path, to your spiritual growth. And you have to ask yourself, am I ready for that? Am I ready to shed all this stinking thinking? Am I ready to let go of all the stuff that's been holding me back? Conditioning, bad behavior patterns, self-sabotaging, whatever it is, because you've gained wisdom, but now it's time to apply that wisdom. Walk the straight and narrow. You know, do your spiritual work. Like, are you ready to accept that role, to take it seriously? You know, that's a question you got to ask yourself, especially if you're trying to get back into a relationship with your feminine, because you don't want those karmic cycles to keep repeating. You know, so be aware of oneself. Come from, again, from a place of integrity and honesty. Communicate clearly. Now look at both sides of the coin, equal give and take, 50-50, holding oneself accountable, not sitting in victim mentality, not sitting in the wounding, you know, fears and guilt and whatever it is. All that stuff, it's got to go, because you've gained wisdom now. You're going through something here that's teaching you a valuable lesson about yourself and about how you relate to other people in the world. You know, an abundance can be had going through this process, understanding everything from a spiritual perspective, you know, focusing on the wisdom that you've gained, and be ready to be a leader, because that's what you came here to do. It says here, focused energy. Like, again, don't let things deter you. Transformation, evolving, ascending higher, maturity. So, you know, use your wisdom, dear, and not be confused. Let's see what confused says, too. Oh, we got here vanity. Let's do this one. I need more, better, bigger. Yes, that will make me okay. Again, looking for things outside of oneself to bring joy. And that's not where you need to be looking for it. Inspirational message. We all say we will stop when we've had enough, but there's never enough. You may be looking outside of yourself for validation. Personal inquiry. Am I feeling disconnected from any people in my life? Am I growing away from limiting relationships? Key ideas: environmental tension, living in illusion, self-doubt, power to change, lesser companions, empty conversations. Keywords are faith, awareness, and transformation. So, having faith, you had here transformation again. No more living in illusions, no more self-doubts. You have the power to change. You're growing away from limiting relationships, karmic relationships, toxic cycles, stinking thinking, self-sabotaging behaviors. Not looking outside of ourselves for validations to feel good. That's where, again, this fear of being alone, or fear of speaking up because you won't be liked, or people taking off masks and people seeing some maybe not so nice things, you know, that you're trying to change about yourself. So applaud yourself for that, and not be fearful of when we hold ourselves accountable for our actions of dealing with the repercussions. You know, sometimes we have to. But all is better in the end for it. Truth is always better than lies. That's for sure. And then we have confusion. Every silver lining has a cloud. Inspirational message. Through the willingness to be in confusion, we find clarity. There is nothing to solve. Meditation and quiet time will bring clarity. Personal inquiry. Can I see confusion as a bad thing? Can I learn to let go of needing an immediate outcome? Key ideas. Allowing confusion. Spiritual support. Consequences of actions. Finding love. Keywords. Clarity, support, and revelation. So know that the universe always will support you through all your learning and your lessons, and they support your growth. They applaud your growth. So know that you're watched over in that sense. You know, letting go of fear and worry, and sometimes, you know, going with your heart, taking a leap of faith, not sitting in the thinking, in the confusion. You know, facing the consequences of one's actions and not letting the fear of doing that keep you stuck in situations out of guilt, out of fear, out of whatever it is, codependency, not wanting people to see an unflattering part of you. Like, let all that go. And finding love. It's a love of thyself, first and foremost. Because you're loving yourself by doing all of this. All this shadow work here. This is all to make you better. By letting all of this stuff go. And freeing yourself. And remember that only love is real. Love is the energy that fills the universe. Love fills every cell of your body, every atom of your being. I feel no guilt when I say no to someone. Listen to that, you got guilt over here too. And fear of speaking up. Again, maybe that's getting out of situations that you are wanting to get out of. And fear of dealing with the repercussions of that. Of taking off that mask. You know, so you're staying stuck. And there's also, you know, fear of being alone here. Maybe of, again, possibly the kids moved out or you're alone. Or if it's just, you know, some kind of codependent thing going on here. It's better to say no when you need to and say yes when you want to. Otherwise, anger will creep in and you'll resent the person or the obligation. So when we stay stuck in situations we don't want to be in because we're afraid of saying something and ending it, you end up resenting the other person. I mean, it's you needing to deal with you. So reflect on thyself. And here we have, I honor my relationships with loving care and attention. And here it says, renew your relationships through loving action. The relationship is living, alive in the present. It's not a thing of the past. That's where the guilt and all that stuff comes in too. Clinging to shoulda, woulda, couldas, or fears of making moves because we're too much in the thoughts instead of just doing the do. Being in the present. You know, renewing the relationship through action. It's not sitting in the woes, in the confusion and the guilt. and thinking. What advice does the universe have for you? Yeah, they want you to know you're watched over. I think I mentioned that in something I read over here. I allow myself to feel safe and enjoy my life, knowing that heaven is watching over my loved ones and me. They're rooting for you. They want you to heal. And they want you to have faith. I have faith in God to heal this situation. And then you have prayer. Instead of worrying, I pray about this situation to bring about real solutions. Positive thinking. And then you have giving and receiving. I balance being generous and receptive because both are equally important. So this, is about giving and receiving, equal give and take, 50-50, being open, not being in fear, keeping walls up. So that way when we're open, we're also able to give from a healthy place. And this is again about the masculine needing to give a truth, speak a truth, so that he can receive the benefit of that. Yeah, you have taking action. Again, today I take action related to the priorities that I've previously put off. Just staying stuck out of fear or obligation, or not wanting to reveal ourselves. Just staying stuck, not taking action. And they want you to take action, so that they want you to give so that you can receive and have faith and know that you're watched over. Oh, masculine. Because here, in regards to love, there's a choice that needs to be made. So you're all in the thoughts. I mean, it looks like you're trying, but you're running into some issues, perhaps with finding other people to help you make whatever you're trying to manifest here to get your way back to the feminine. But now you're feeling the beginnings of your repercussion, the repercussions of your actions. And you're going through all your stuff. But you needed to make a choice. And you have barrier here. Brown-haired woman. Love. Bad news. And doubt. So you're fearing the worst. You got doubts. You don't know. Again, because you're sitting on in the thoughts and not just saying what you got to say. So it's like you're torturing yourself over here. Not wanting to rip that Band-Aid off. Let's see, barrier. Now, wondering if things can change around for the better. Fortuna. It's like the Wheel of Fortune. µ. This is like tactfulness or change or transformation. The barrier is trying to get something to change here. Barrier. Belvedere is like to have a bright outlook, or to see the future. The Lovers. For the Lovers, you got Messengere. This is a message from a distance. One's needing to communicate. So you got throat chakra here. The Lovers. Trying to strategize. Military. This is where, you're probably feeling the rejection. People saying, well, you should have thought about that before you took off. Or you should have thought about that, so you're all in your feelings. You're all in your woes. You're all in your stresses. blaming, you know, the world and being in fear because you got some challenge here. That's trying to strategize your way through this barrier, which is the brown-haired woman. Let's see, the Lovers. This has been some lies. And the Lovers, you got Sacerdote, which is, you know, the healing, spiritual, could be spiritual relationship, could be marriage. Got Grand Senores, men about town, men of high society, or somebody who was living in the ego, or maybe made some choices, again, that weren't considerate of somebody else. That's why you always need to take in consideration our words and actions don't just affect us, but, let's see, maybe you're trying to heal this relationship because you were behaving in a way that was deceptive or only thinking of yourself. But you've gained wisdom, dear. And the Lovers, you got Eladro, which is the thief. Or somebody sneaking in or out, or somebody missing someone. And you have a precious gift. Gotta keep track of this time. Conversation, conversación. The Superbia, this is about ego, arrogance. So that Grand Signore was there, and you got La Costanza, which is to have hope or to persevere. So you're sending a message, and you're trying to figure out a way to heal this relationship based on some behaviors that were probably a little ego-based. A little bit of arrogance there. There's conversations that need to be had. Hopes of, you know, wanting to reconcile. Let's see, there's a barrier here as far as looking towards the future or things turning in your favor. Let's see, brown-haired woman. Oops, brown-haired woman. Brown-haired woman. Literato, which is somebody who's reflecting on stuff. Giovine Fanciulla, this is an attraction to a young lady. This is probably the brown-haired woman. Which you're hoping things will change with. Your love reunion, a relationship. La fidelta, faithfulness, or fidelity. So you're reflecting on the relationship. And you're wanting a new beginning in love, Bambino. With Lamika, person that you consider to be your best friend, your confidant. but you're fearing the worst, probably because of what's transpired here. You're afraid of revealing yourself, rejection, or whatever it is. Yeah, because it's been so long. You've let this drag out. That's on the bad news. So you're fearing the worst. Once you doubt. µ So celebrations, lightheartedness. So you're doubting success because you feel like you waited too long. Again, you're just letting your fears keep you stuck. We're our own worst enemies. You got prigioni, you feel imprisoned, like trapped and depressed, and you know things just aren't what you wanted. You know, things should be different, life's unfair. It's like, so you're all in your lowest because you're doubtful, but again, it's because you haven't taken any action. You haven't asked. You don't know. Instead, you're sitting all in your thoughts. Again, we're our own worst enemies. But they're telling you, take action. You got to give to receive. Think positive. Have faith. Know you're watched over. So whatever it is you got to do here, go for it. As we've been telling you for weeks now. But we love you, masculine. We just want you to move ahead to greener pastures. Now let's do our career things. Focus on the card. Okay? And let us see what we shall see. Card number 1. Light and love. Your purpose is to bring divine healing, light, and love to this world. There was something somewhere about... What's the year? I know it had to do with this. I can't remember what it was. Oh, talk about confusion. But it was mentioning about what you came to do. Oh, leadership qualities. There was something in one of these cards here that spoke of, are you ready to be a leader? You know, are you ready to walk on your path? Because that's what you came here to do. You came to be a light worker. So, let us see light and love. That's what it was. It takes me a few minutes, but I get it. I'll get it back. It comes back. But it was like, are you ready to step into that leadership role? Are you ready to walk in your destiny? Do your light work. Light worker stuff. Light and love. You are a conduit of God's pure light and love, and you bring this healing energy through with your prayers, visualizations, and positive intentions. This is your life purpose. Although it may seem non-specific, rest assured that your prayers have helped in significant, specific ways. You are anchoring divine light and love to the earth, which is ensuring that the planet is safe, stable, and protected. Please keep up this good work, as it is necessary and valuable. You can also channel this purpose in other ways as well. For example, your natural spiritual gifts make you a wonderfully successful healer. Whether you conduct energy work, counseling, or some other form of physical or psychological therapy, always remember to bring through the divine healing force. You don't need to drain your own energy, as there is unlimited supply readily available for all who tap into the divine. This card also signifies that you can heal your present situation by applying light and love to it and everyone involved. Hold only positive and loving thoughts and feelings, and watch the blessings multiply in beautifully surprising ways. See? Thinking positively. That helps bring in your abundance. Card number 2. We have options. Consider the career possibilities that are open to you. So let us see options. You have more options than you may realize, which is why this card comes to you today. While you may feel limited in your career choices, the angels remind you that the possibilities are unlimited. They promise that time, money, knowledge, opportunities, and other factors that you need are very much open to you. This card is a sign urging you to think outside of the box and be open-minded with respect to your options. For example, can you return to school and learn new skills related to your dream career? Can you begin a self-employment venture on a part-time basis while your regular job pays the bills? Or could you find a mentor to train you while you work as an intern or volunteer? The range of possibilities is wide and varied if you will just be open to them. Take a moment right now and say to your angels, please give me clear signs and guidance about my options related to my divine life mission and a career that makes my heart sing with joy. Then notice intuitive feelings and ideas as well as repetitive physical signs, which are messages from the above. So, tap into thyself and know that the possibilities are endless. You know what options there might be for you. And here we have teaching. You inspire young people to learn. Maybe that is part of your path. Oops. You have a gift with children because it's part of your life purpose to help and support them. Young people respond to your genuine nature, and they recognize your inner child, which helps you relate to and understand them. More than ever before, children need trustworthy and loving adults to act as shepherds and teachers, and you are drawn to this work. Most likely, your teaching or healing work with children will encompass some aspect of spirituality. For instance, you may incorporate music or personal growth lessons into a traditional classroom, or you may teach important life skills in other ways. For example, in your role as a sports coach, music instructor, babysitter, or art therapist, or through charity work or running a youth center. In these ways, you help children keep their spiritual gifts alive and awaken new interests. If you ask the angels to guide you to the best avenues that will allow you to reach out and teach young people, they will happily help with this very important life purpose. So there you go. And the last one's there. Books. You connect to your life purpose through your involvement with books. Some of you might be writers, like me. That's what I got. Writing spiritual books, that was mine. Or books. Your love of books drew this card to you. You're able to find something interesting between the covers in most works, and your literature interests are wide and varied, so it's not surprising that your life purpose is centered around the written word. For example, you do well working at a bookstore, library, publishing house, or magazine, or in the media. You may also be drawn to write a book, which the angels will help you with. You can find answers and directions for your current career path by intuitively selecting books that call to you, even if the topics seem initially unrelated to your past career. Trust that there's valuable information within the pages. You're being led along the path of your divine life purpose, one page at a time. Ba-doom-psh. And on that note, my lovelies, I wish you love and light. I wish you well. I wish you healing. And I wish you luck in regards to all of this and whatever's going on in your life. If you like a personal reading, all the information is below. It's also on the About Me page. You can find everything there. Please like, subscribe, and share if you haven't already. Check out all the recent uploads. There's all kinds of things there for you to choose from. And until next week, I send you love and light. Bye-bye.